the beat. Wait a minute, what the hell?
Shake me.
I'm your brother.
Bruh.
I'm officially primary custodian of the kids.
A few moments later.
What about the child support? That's it? Tony, that's crazy. Why? Are you kidding me? Now all of this financial burden with my children is on me?
I can't imagine giving this man any amount of money that I work hard for.
Come on, man. Now hold on. The kids are 8 and 5.
Right.
So you gotta give it to them.
She was stripping.
I'm an exotic dancer.
She was stripping, Your Honor.
I'm an exotic
And that's how I met her. They was playing me in the club.
I'm an exotic dancer, but he didn't have that problem when we got together. And the years that we were together, he wasn't complaining then. But it's regarding my...
Do me a favor, you're making me dizzy, rocking back and forth. Yeah, just child support is set at $2,300. You're gonna do a reimbursement to Medicaid for $276, making your monthly child support payment $2,576.
That's how much you gotta pay.
No, that's how much you gotta pay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
The children live with him.
Thank you.
Did you have any questions about that number?
All right. So welcome to the Toxic Masculinity Show.
Number two.
But we would be remiss if we did not understand and tell you guys that it's been 2 years since the passing of Kevin Samuels. So I remember the day when Kevin Samuels passed. It was a shock to everybody. He was really on an amazing trajectory. 1 million subs on YouTube, 1 million subs on Instagram. And he was absolutely the pinnacle of content creation in the space. Everybody wanted to be like Kevin Samuels. Everybody wanted to know the secret sauce. And what we all knew, or the content creators knew, and what Scott especially knew, was that Kevin Samuels started years before that. But I just want to go back to the day when Kevin Samuels passed away and just say this really quickly. There's a lot of content creators who made a lot of money talking good and bad about Kevin Samuels. And everybody jumped on the train. And there's a lot of content creators right now, to this day, who said that they absolutely loved Kevin Samuels but had nothing good to say about him when he was alive. He was horrible. He was a chauvinist. He didn't talk to people correctly. And I can say this
one. Taking his show.
Yes. And that same person, Kendra G, absolutely is doing Kevin Samuels' show right now from her point of view. So I just want to say this. As someone who's been core management in 5 startups, who's been when decisions are made, who's had the tough conversations, Kevin Samuels was speaking to people in a professional, tough manner. He never swore. He never cussed people out. I've cussed out all types of people in these rooms before and said some things that have got me literally thrown out of companies, and I didn't care. I was on my way out anyway. Kevin Samuels had far more patience than the average person should have, but what he did was he told people the absolute truth. And he started by telling men the truth for 5 years. So for all you folks who are still to this day lamenting on Kevin Samuels, I understand that it was a tragedy and it's a loss. But to the people who are still celebrating a man's death after 2 years, you deserve nothing better. And since this is a Toxic Masculinity Show, but we're in the daytime, we're not after hours, I'm going to keep it a little PG. So you deserve nothing better, to the people out there still hating, to kiss the brown part of my black arse.
Yeah? Is that how you feel?
That's how I feel about it. If you're going to hate on a dead man, you don't deserve much.
Well, I mean, we're still here making content. And actually, the biggest inspiration for us to actually turn our, I guess, going towards this niche was Kevin Samuels. I'm just letting you know right now. Yeah. I saw Kevin Samuels during the pandemic. I was like, who is this man? I need to learn more. And then we started doing content that was more in this, I guess, what it called, Black Manosphere.
Which is hilarious because Scott's sitting here talking to me about Kevin Samuels, and I'm looking at Scott like, bro, you are hella Asian. I'm like, bro, I mean, my wife called you the Chino. She don't, you know, like, dude is hella Asian. But the one thing that I understood was that when you're telling the truth is the truth for everyone. And also one thing that I understand is that when people are carrying themselves a certain way and you lead with masculinity, professionalism, but you're still tough. No matter the race, unless you're just an absolutely stomped down, I can't stand this group of people, it's going to resonate. Before we get started, I want to give a shout out to our regulars in the chat. I see it right here. I want to give a shout out to Rishi, Uncle Guns, the moderator of the year, D Block Diaz. I hope I said that right. I mean, and I'm learning Spanish more and more every day, so my wife is probably like, why do you pronounce it so horrible? Who else do we have in the chat today? We have Africa is King. Mm-hmm. That name is dope, man. Well, you know, I never changed my name. It's just like Grover. These people got all of these good names. You got El Guapo, the lead attorney. I'm going to call myself Fat Boy Slim.
Is that what you want to call yourself?
I don't think I can call. I think that was already there. Right. Who else do we have in the chat? We have
Swing Out Museum. Been a THPTube member for 3 months.
Swing Out Museum. You're a THPTube member for 3 months.
He says here, I viewed Kevin Samuels Monday, Wednesday, Friday on YouTube and Tuesdays and Thursdays on IG.
Well, sir, you've been a THPTube member for 3 months, and we have something special for the folks who are supporting us. Mm-hmm. And if I trigger it correctly,
yeah, you should be able to trigger it correctly.
It's going to be okay.
I think it'll work.
All right, so let's give it a shot. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much. The contractor. What's the link to the membership? And I got to tell you, folks, our membership is super affordable. It's like $2 and
$1.99 actually.
$1.99. We're gonna raise it up in July, but we want to really.
We're gonna have tiers. $1.99 I want to stay, and that's for something else.
Oh, okay.
So we're gonna have tiers. So we'll discuss that in the background.
See what happens. Asian man comes here and just takes over.
No, because I'm thinking one membership, the base tier will be only like members only live chat.
Right.
So I want to keep that as affordable as possible.
Yes. So I just want to thank everybody for joining us. Thank you. We've been updating our show. We haven't live streamed a lot. We were going to go on Friday, but we literally stayed up all night Friday fixing camera issues, making sure that we have a better presentation, checking our equipment. So I want to give a big shout out to Scott, who was here until
from 5 p.m. to 4 a.m. or something.
Yeah.
And there's still a lot more work to be done too.
Right.
But salute to the contractors. Salute to
Kenneth the DJ.
Is it Kennard?
Oh, Kennard.
Kennard the
DJ. Kennard. Mm-hmm. Kennard. What is Kennard? Kennard is duck in. Kennard is actually duck in French, but it's spelled differently.
And salute to Black Empowerment.
Black Empowerment Movement 1. Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Shin Wilson and Iraez
Rojas.
There we go.
Iraez Rojas. Hola. Mm-hmm. So, we have a show planned for you tonight. So let me just tell you about toxic masculinity. So usually when you see us have a show, we've had a lady or two here. We've been talking to the ladies, and we'd ask them questions, ask their opinions, and try to have a civil conversation with them. Toxic masculinity isn't that. Toxic masculinity is 100% from a male point of view, what we go through and what do we feel. I think it's important to have conversations with ladies But I think it's more important for men to have conversations with men and let ladies know how we're really feeling. Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with a couple of memes that we've collected. We're going to call this the memes of today. And we are going to hope that it all goes well. Mm-hmm. So let's go to meme number 1.
Go to...
Oh my God, yes! Oh my God!
All right, so
struggle streaming
already. You know, a lot of times when people say struggle streaming and they're just joking, but we gonna struggle stream for real in this bad boy. So it says right here, in 2013, 4 female prisoner guards in Baltimore, shout out to Life Lessons for Men in El Guapo.
El Guapo, beautiful eyes.
My cousins in the Baltimore area, where 4 female prison guards were found to have been impregnated by the same inmate. 2 of the women tattooed the inmate's name on their bodies and showered 3 of them with expensive gifts, including cars and jewelry.
All right.
Okay, so
go circle back.
Go to the main camera. There we go.
Mm-hmm. And?
So, my question to you, Scott.
Yes, sir.
Very easily. Is your whole life you hear women say, be a gentleman. Yeah. Your whole life you hear women tell men to, they just want a protector and a provider. They want someone to be faithful to them. Mm-hmm. And what do you think about that situation? Go.
About this situation where everyone wants a bad guy,
basically? Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I gotta examine their life circumstances, but
well, we know that they have great
there
jobs.
Probably is some kind of monetary incentive. Number 1, they're probably doing a little bit of smuggling on the side too. Then they start building rapport. Getting their life situated on the outside where he's paying for their goods.
So everybody, I just want you to realize that Scott wanted to be a cop at one point. And Scott wanted to be a cop at one point because the first thing he did was start building a RICO case against these ladies. They just couldn't have been horny.
Well, it had to be smuggling first. That's what I'm thinking.
He went into a straight RICO case. All of them were all in with this guy. This guy's a vicious leader. So what do you think? What do you think? You think that's it?
No, I think he's probably giving them the D. Because he's got 3 of them down on lock.
There we go.
Resources. He's the bad guy, so he's getting them their tingling sensation wet. So they're ready to go.
Damn, Scott got kind of mad.
Just saying.
Hey, let me tell you exactly what I think happened. I think that these women know it's the wrong thing to do, and that's what makes them happy. Mm. I think. Listen, we do Sexy Red. Everybody acts like Sexy Red is so popular. Let me tell you what the top 3 streaming, I say again, the top 3 streaming artists are in hip hop. Number 1 is Drake. Number 2 is J. Cole. Right now, current. Number 3 is Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar about to be number 1 because he over there just kicking Drake in the teeth. But those are the top 3 streamers. It's not Sexy Red. It's not Sukiana. But because these ladies are portraying the bad girl image that they can get away with, they like them. And that's what
I mean, isn't Sexy Red actually? She's about that though.
I don't care what they're about. It. The stupidest thing in the world to me is to work hard your whole life to get out the ghetto and still keep doing ghetto stuff.
Yeah, and be proud of it too.
And be proud,
Super
like
proud of
be
it,
proud of it. It's like you. So that just proves that if you take a bag of crap and you give it $400,000, it's still gonna act like a bag of crap until whatever's making it crappy gets fixed. Okay, so the next one we got here, our next meme.
Next meme. All right.
Yeah. Son husband.
Son husband. Let's see if I can bring this up. Go ahead.
So, son husband right here, it says, Mom was pregnant with me when she missed her senior prom. 18 years later, I took her to mine. Scott, do you think this is appropriate?
Hell to the no. What are we talking about here? I mean, I wouldn't want to take my mom to the prom. I mean, that sounds kind of incestual. I mean, I know he's probably doing it for a good time. I just know. I would prefer having a girl I'm not related to be dancing up and twerking on because, yeah. What happens when the dancing part starts to happen? Are they going to be dancing like waist apart? Or how's that going to work?
I don't know. Oh, E305. Is that a new THPPtube member?
Oh, yeah.
New THPPtube member. Hey, thank you. Thank you. I can't wait. I can't wait till we get enough THPPtube members to do members only streams. And when we get enough to do our members only streams, we're gonna do story time with Uncle Guns. And Uncle Guns, man, let me tell you something. He's our moderator. And this man, people think I have stories about my travels. All right, now, my wife, I love you, and if you're listening, ma'am, please close your ears. I thought I got down when I was young. Uncle Guns told me some stories. And I was like, yeah, I know, but damn, you actually went there? You actually went there?
Oh, wow. Big shout out to Swing Out Museum for gifting 5 memberships to the THPPP Network.
It looks like I'm going to have to do that story time with Uncle Guns soon.
Sooner
Uncle Guns.
than later.
You're going to have to clear your schedule, sir. You know what? Listen, this is a last minute stream, and we only have one overlay laid up in our OBS system to celebrate. I mean, we don't really get super chats like that or memberships like that. So
to celebrate and honor Kevin Samuels.
Because
like I said, the main influence to where our channel, the way it looks now, is actually really from Kevin Samuels.
Yeah. So and even talking about the son husband, I picked this son husband because Kevin Samuels talked about this a lot. So this is what happens, ladies. You don't need a man. So what a lot of ladies wind up doing, and I've seen this over and over and over again, is you separate from the father and you turn that little man into the man of the house. And that little man's not the man of the house. That little man's a kid. And he should be starting to learn how to be an adult as he's going older. He should learn how to do that, but he doesn't need to have that responsibility. I've seen like kids know about all of their family's bills, and there's a difference. It's okay to show your kids how to pay bills. You should start doing that when your kids are 13. They should know, hey, every month this has to be done, this has to be done, this has to be done. Oh, hey, this is not a priority, so we can't do this month. Maybe when times are tough, maybe the HBO Max gets cut off and we'll get it later. But hey, you know what? We always got to pay the rent. We always got to pay this. Showing your kids how to prioritize, that's important. But your kids should not have the stress. Your kids shouldn't be, your little man at 5 years old shouldn't be pumping gas for you. You know, if you don't have a man,
get 5 years old, really?
5, 6 years old.
Does it really happen?
Yes, that's 5, 6, 7, under 15. I'll say 13. Excuse me. Some of these kids big as hell. Some of these kids are big as hell. So at 13, maybe your kid get out and pump gas, right? He start learning how to fix cars and stuff. He's around his uncles, if some male influence if you're not around them. But you see how 5-year-old pumping gas. Oh yeah, my little man gonna take care of me. And you know what too? Mothers do it to their daughters too. Mothers do it to their daughters. I've seen it hundreds of times. I was talking to my homegirl the other day. She's a single mom, and I was like, I was like, listen, you need to learn how to get along with a dude and find somebody. You know, it's going to be tougher because you got a kid, so you're going to have to, you know, you're going to have to cooperate. And she was like, I'm not cooperating with no man. I make my own money. I do this, I do that, I do this, I do that. And I was like, nobody cares about. I told her, how much money are you going to give the man? I'm not going to get a man anything. I ain't going 50-50. Well, then if you ain't going to get a man no money, don't talk to him about money. Hell, what's the deal? If you ain't gonna give me
so
no
what
money.
gives them the gall to go in and impose their will on a man and how they should distribute the money?
Actually, nobody ever told him shut up and listen.
Oh, really? Oh, I know you did.
Well,
on multiple episodes.
I told a lot of people, you got to shut up and listen.
One of our classic episodes of Sukiana.
Yeah.
That got limited later on.
Yeah. Oh, man, I said shut up like 50 times on that. YouTube doesn't like it when you tell women to shut up, by the way, just so you know. Know who else doesn't like it when you tell women to shut up?
Who?
Women.
Women
don't like it when you tell them to shut up. But listen, sometimes
you got to be quiet
and also
listen.
But also, as a man, you have to be logical too. Mm-hmm. If your woman is a professor of studies of Ecuador, and you're in Ecuador. I just picked some place where I actually haven't been. Then you need to realize that when you're in Ecuador, she knows more about Ecuador than you do. Mm-hmm. But life experiences, most times you hear women that say, I want a guy I admire, a guy I can look up to, a guy who could teach me stuff, a guy who could show me things I've never seen. And he has to make this much money, do this, do that, do this, do that. Yeah, but how's he going to do that if you won't shut up and listen to him? Mm-hmm. All right, next one is the text.
The text.
So this is a segment of our show. We go through memes and we discuss them. And then we got a couple of video clips to react to. We'll answer any questions in the chat. And then, we're not going to hold you too long. So, Scott, you read this one.
Why do I gotta read this? Actually, I'm gonna read it. Looks funny. Can sex doll cook your meals? Can sex doll have your kids? Can sex doll wash your clothes? Can sex doll make your home? What's it? You are really triggered, to be honest. Ain't no sensible man that is buying that crap. And the guy responds, so because of sex doll, y'all women suddenly think it's a woman's duty to cook, wash, and take care of the home.
And so this is the I want it two-way syndrome. This is absolutely I want it two-way syndrome. Mm-hmm. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've seen a woman say, listen, I want a man to open doors. I want a man to be a gentleman. I want a man to make sure that I'm safe. But I'll be damned if I'm going to cook him up, fix him his plate. I'll be damned if when he wake up in the morning about to go to work, it's going to be some coffee ready for him. Like, your ass ain't going to drink coffee too later on. Mm-hmm. And so, ladies, when I'm talking to the ladies, the three ladies who's going to watch this, only thing I say honestly is you must realize absolutely that men are not utility. And so we understand totally that we have a job to do. I mean, my wife understands that if somebody comes to the door, I'm getting up and she's getting away. If I get hurt, she needs to get away. Now, she's a very smart person. So
if you get her, you mean get in a fight, an altercation?
Somebody comes through the door, they have to get through me to get through her.
Do you know how many times I've seen on X where a chick gets in the fight between her and her man? The guy's winning, her boyfriend's winning, and then he gets knocked out.
Oh yeah,
so many times. I'm like, what is she doing? She's helping the other dude, like pulling the boyfriend back. Like, what's wrong with you?
No. And also,
like, get out of the way, woman. And
also, if I'm fighting, you need to sit down and let me fight. If I'm crazy enough to go through with it, you need to be smart enough to get away. Mm-hmm. But also, like, be smart. Like, if there's a couple of them, when you get away, can you please call the police and tell them my location? Yeah. This has been the only time. And when they show up and arrest me, I'll just, But that's the thing. But absolutely, that's conditional femininity. Kevin Samuels talked about it all the time. Mm-hmm. This meme represents that. You can't be a lady only when it suits you. You have to be a lady all the time. You can't be a man only when it suits you. You have to be a man all the time. But here is a caveat that I know Mr. Samuels talked about, but I want to talk to everybody here. You must not ever put yourself in harm's way. Be a gentleman. Open doors. Walk on the right side of the street for a lady who does not deserve it.
So how do you what would the qualifications be for her to be a woman that deserves it?
Well, I'll just say this.
Okay.
Right. My wife never opens the car door.
Okay.
She doesn't.
Never.
Never.
Getting out, getting in.
She doesn't need to open the car door.
All right.
When we were here, the memorial of my dad's death, we always do it on his birthday. We were here not last year, but the year before last. We had a memorial at was it last? No, it was the year before last. We had a memorial here. And 19 people showed up. She cooked birria. She served 19 people and made sure that every guest who came to my house was comfortable. My brother's big 6'3", bigger than me, sat in the corner and ate and looked at me and said, "Bro, they don't want to cook. She can really cook." I was like, "Bro, close your mouth."
Hey, your brother don't really talk much either.
Nah, my brother quiet. My brother quiet and big.
Quiet and big. Yeah, that's for sure.
And don't ever.
He's one of those guys I don't want to mess with. You know what I mean,
bro?
Like,
hey, when that fool was 16 years old, we was around the corner.
Can I joke with him, Grover? He doesn't look like the type I can.
Oh
joke
no,
with.
he's hella funny, dude. He'll snap on you. Come on, he from the Bay. He snaps. But he was 16 years old, and this guy tried to mess with him, and my brother whooped that adult's ass, and we had to leave. I was like, "Oh man, we all going to jail," said he. And he's like, "Man," and dude's like, "Oh," and I was like, "Bro, I just want you to know, you got your ass whooped by a teenager." We left. Dude was sitting there looking at each other. But my brother's a really nice guy. But I mean, it wasn't just my brother. I had my martial arts students here. I had just my family came by. It was a wonderful thing. She made sure everyone ate, and she forgot to eat herself. And I felt so bad because it was like, damn, that's my job to make sure she ate. She was just tired. And thank you still for that. I look in this camera. I say thank you. Bottom of my heart, it's amazing. It's one of the reasons why I love you so much is that you just surprise me with your capacity to make my guests feel comfortable, and adds to like people looked at me like my student looked at me and said, "Damn, no. See, that's why you're the man, because you can men's value is also on the type of women they attract, but we just treat it differently than women do. Women
attract and maintain, right? And retain, like actually, I guess who's supposed to be your almost like your avatar when you're not around, right?
Well, I mean, I'm very comfortable with the way she presents herself. She never dresses provocative. She like honestly, like, and I never tell her this. I'm like, you have to have conversations with people. She's like, she don't really be talking to dudes like that. She's like, I don't feel comfortable. Why is he talking to me? And in my job, I got to talk to everybody. I'm always out trying to get content. I'm always talking to people, and I'm just like, wow. But it's amazing. And this is the thing. So men, be a gentleman, but don't be nice. Being nice allows you to get ran over. Being a gentleman,
be a polite savage. That's what you should say.
Being a gentleman shows that you were raised right and that you come from great stock. But being nice, ladies should be nice. Men don't need to be nice. Men need to be gentlemen. Men need to be savages. All right, let's go to the. Oh, you got something to say? I seen you grab the mic and just.
Oh no, I was just.
Thought you was
messing around with his mic.
I just want to know, why do we have the mics right by my face? It's too phallic, man. Like we had the one before that came around and it came from the side, and now Scott, I don't like those, so I get these, and it looks like I don't know where to put my hands. If I hold it like it feels weird, bro.
Well, I mean, next time you can do that. Yeah. I guess. Scott be very strict on how way things look. By the way, folks, I want you to know a couple of things. We upgraded the way our picture looks. We are now streaming in high def. Yep. For the first time, you can actually see how old I really am. You can see, and if I take off the hat here, you can see the scars on my forehead from fighting professionally, from getting elbowed in the forehead and stuff, like a fool when I was younger, and running away from the crazy ones
6 years ago
when you were younger.
Yeah, well, well, when I was really younger, I used to run to the crazy ones. They were fun. And so we have the next meme now, which is our last one, which is Hyena.
All right. Let's try to do it this way.
Wow. It worked.
It worked, yeah.
So here, So, ladies, I just want you to know, when you're saying you don't need a man, you don't need a man, but you want a man. You don't need a man and this and that. Let me tell you what it means to us. It means that as soon as you realize and you're bored, you're gone. Men never say they don't need women. Now, there's some men out here who don't need women.
Is that a woman king?
That's
Is that supposed to be like a woman king?
that's a female hyena.
With a crown on top of her head, it's like a woman king.
Yeah.
It's a woman king hyena.
Yeah. And to the ladies of the community, to the sisters, I didn't make this. This is readily available out there. I know it's Midjourney. I know it's AI art. But this is made by a guy who's not even in the manosphere, who doesn't even like this content, but who's so sick of women saying that they don't need a man in his normal life from this fourth and fifth wave feminism, that he actually put this together on an AI art page I'm a member of, where I learn so that these people could tell me how to make prompts. And this is what they think of you. Ladies,
I want to say I have no parts in this. So go ahead.
Ladies, hey, Scott, look at what he did.
Look at, I cover myself out of this.
Man,
I don't want no smoke.
Look what he did.
From the
bro,
ladies
she just
out
got
here,
a 10.
So,
that's not a like. That's she got blonde hair too. Well, okay.
Well, I mean, Africa, they got blonde hair in Africa. Yeah, some tribes.
Like 2% Africa, bro.
Yeah, well.
But this is what I'm gonna say, ladies. And you know, if it's a little tough medicine, just swallow it. It'll make you feel better. It's a problem what we have today. So we don't want to take that tough pill. I got to swallow that tough pill of being a man all the time. When I was 460 pounds, I had to swallow a tough pill and lose over 100 pounds. Right? When I wasn't good enough at my job, I had to swallow a tough pill and get better skills. Okay? When I wasn't strong enough, I had to swallow a tough pill when I started grappling, and all these young kids were stronger than me, and I had to start lifting weights again. You just got to swallow the tough pill and you got to move on. You can't claim that you're tough and can't take the criticism. What really happens is that when you say you don't need a man, you sound like that. This is how you sound like. You don't sound confident. You sound like something else than a lady doing an imitation of a man. I've never seen a lady who doesn't need a man who really meant it. I know women who died at 70 years old alone, never had kids, dying from a disease in the middle of COVID, locked inside a room, who would beg me to come and just sit with them for 2 hours and visit them because they were lonely. I know ladies who paid me in liquor and money to sit there and talk with them. And when I couldn't come, they would break the machines that they were on that was giving them oxygen so another person would come and talk to them. And I never, ever had to respond to a man. And the reason is that when men die alone, we expect to be alone. 95% of the men don't have real relationships anymore. And the way marriage is going, with 50% of marriages breaking up, there's a lot of single men. So what I'm saying to you ladies is that you can sit here with that cappage and say you don't need a man all you want. And I'm just going to tell you the absolute truth. Chat, if you can hear me, drop a 1 in there. I'm going to tell you the absolute truth. You can lie to everybody, but lying to yourself makes you neurotic, borderline psychotic. And no one believes you. You can say you don't need a man, but you turn around and you need a man to change your oil. You can say you don't need a man, but you turn around and you need a man when you call the police. You can say you don't need a man, but you turn around and you get taken advantage of when you try to buy a car. How many ladies do you know, Scott, who are paying $750 a month for a damn used car because they got horrible credit? And if they would have took a man with them to discuss it, who knew about it, and could have got them a better deal. You don't need a man, but you damn sure require a man to make this world work.
There's a requirement for men now?
You don't need a man, but
they say men ain't crap.
But
they don't need us.
But you require that man. And I don't care if you don't like it. Because like all medicine that don't taste good, it helps you get better. I don't want to see black women in general lonely. I got some women in my family who need somebody right this moment. But let me tell you about my family in Texas. Let me tell you about my auntie who's a widow who was married for over 50 years. Let me tell you about my other auntie who is married for 50 years. All right? These are strong people. Let me tell you about my grandmother who was married to my grandfather for over 60 years, had 12 kids, and it was a blended family. And it wasn't a blended family nowadays because somebody walked away from a wedding or from a marriage because it got tough. It was a blended family because both of their spouses died from the Spanish flu. And so that's how bad it was, that when someone died, you had to go find yourself a man because you wasn't going to make it. My grandfather was strong. When he died at 76 years old, or maybe he was 86, I don't know. It was in 1992. He was still muscular and was upset that we had to help him around the house. Was upset. So I just want people to understand, ladies, that when you're here lying saying you don't need a man, and then you wind up like the lady in the first meme sleeping with inmates, or the lady in a second meme with a son husband, or the lady in the third meme comparing herself to a damn sex doll because a dude figures out that, hey, if the only thing that you're going to be good for is this, maybe you're not worth it. Or the last lady who I'm talking about, the Hyena. Nobody believes that bullshit. And that's all I got to say about that. What do you think about that, Scotty?
I think I screwed up there for a second, but I think your message is on point, and it looks like the chat agrees with you.
Chat, if you hear me, if you think I'm capping, put a 2. If you think I'm telling the truth, put a 1. Let me know that you're there. Tell a brother what's up. Let me know.
There we go. That's what I did. All right. Anyway.
See, we got a lady in the house saying that it's cool. Kim's the DJ. What it is. Is that what it is? What it is. Ah, that's, hey man, whoever came up with that name, what it is, bruh, that's tight. That's tight. Bay all, I don't even know if you're from the Bay, but that sounds like the Bay all day. Okay, we got a couple of clips for that Scott hasn't really seen to react to. Mm-hmm. And then we'll take it from there.
All right, let's try to trigger this thing.
All right, let's do it.
So, pocket. Oh, let me pull this off, and then trigger your event.
Because I wish I could have been
no sound?
The traditional. Let me finish.
Traditional.
Let me finish my story.
Sorry.
Thank
you take forever.
Yeah, but I like to talk slow.
I've been telling this man. He talks
still
like elevator music.
You still interrupted me.
2x.
And I have a. If you keep interrupting me, I can't get my message across. And you come out looking like you really control this conversation, and I want to get my point across. Okay, so my point that I'm making is, you go through life, you deal with certain things, and what makes a man to me is you accept the things you've done. But if you could teach people not to make the same choices that you made, not mistakes, choices that you made, whether someone's in Ghana, whether someone's in Oakland, California, and they hear me say that, and they go, wow, I don't want to be in that same position that TK was talking about, and this is what I'm going to do so I don't end up in that same situation. It's just
so
that
you're like the savior. You fuck it up real bad. So
it doesn't matter if I'm a savior. The purpose is we all are God's children. We all have to do things to give back. So I did what I had to do in that situation, and I apply it to the podcast, and I share with people. Now, different people are going to get what they want out of it. Like you look at it that way.
You want to be Nick so bad.
No. I'm older than Nick. So Nick
wants to be you.
Yeah. So I'm older than him. My point that I'm making, any man, if you can learn from my situation, find one woman if you can, and stick with that one woman.
I just love how it's usually the men that can't keep it in their pants, the man that don't value a woman, the man that can't be in a relationship, the one that goes and tells us, go find one woman. You know who I'm going to take that advice from? From the man that has had the one woman. From the man that knows how to value a woman, that has with their actions on a daily basis shown how they value women. That's who I want to take the advice from. Not the one who's still walking around state to state, putting their thing into anything.
I'm going to still tell you why that's wrong.
Why is that wrong?
Because you have so many people who are habitual liars.
Yes.
And 90% of men are habitual liars.
You know 90% of men?
Let me finish.
1 second. Oh. There we go. Sorry.
Struggle streaming to the 5th power. So I'm just going to look at a couple of these couple of these comments.
I mean, she said a lot there, but yeah, go ahead and read the comments.
So Cortez Smith said, it's bad when a boomer simp like TK Kirkland has to check a woman. And TK Kirkland is a hilarious comedian, but and I actually seen TK Kirkland for the first time when I was a teenager, and he was opening up for NWA. So, and I was a teenager in the early 90s. And Kennard, the DJ, said, these chicks are condescending towards men and they're unnecessarily rude. So 2 things, Kennard. First thing is, you are absolutely correct. There's no excuse. And I like the way that TK Kirkland handled it because, he could have went like Tommy Sotomayor and been like, shut up, bitch.
Well, what's crazy? They're actually unnecessarily rude, right, for the whole world to see. The internet and everything. Right. That's absolutely crazy to me. Like on Arlette Amule show, I'm not sure how to pronounce her last name, but on El Guapo's video, his last video, the girl was just completely disrespecting this guy from Chicago, and I was actually getting really upset. Yeah. I was like, dude, let the guy talk. Like, well, why are you just talking crap to him? Like, let him be a man. You call him a little boy too? Yeah,
first of all,
it just doesn't make any. I don't know.
And he's from the Shy. He probably got a sister that will beat the dog snot out of you. And by the way, Kennard, the DJ. I'm a man who loves hats. The hat in that photo it's on another level. I do appreciate it. Now, these are just the notes I have from this, and then I'm going to read my notes I took from it by knowing it. Then I'm going to let you react blind to it. So I noticed here that was a feminist masterclass. That's the first thing I thought.
A feminist masterclass.
A feminist masterclass.
It just sounds like being rude.
And they will never give a man the leeway that women demand when they say, I've made mistakes when I was younger. But TK Kirkland is not only saying he's made mistakes, but by the way, I don't think that there's anything good about having children out of wedlock. I haven't done it. However, I will say that.
Would you say out of wedlock or more of a understanding though?
I don't want to have children out of wedlock. I just didn't.
No, I mean, like, how am I trying to say it? Well, if you are a guy that doesn't want to get married, but you have an agreement.
If I don't want to get married, I'm not gonna have children.
Okay.
That's just the way.
So that's you.
That's the way I was raised. But I don't have a problem with people who do it. I don't think it's the proper thing to do. I think kids should have your last name, grow up in the same house with you, be trained by you. There's too many little boys running around who are over emotional, doing all kinds of emotional stuff. And we all know that when men with power get emotional, we tend to pull guns, we tend to get in fights, we tend to do things. And I think that masculinity in the house is the number one solution to all of these problems. It's also a solution, a proper masculinity in the house, men who are raised right, to all of these women dating all of these pookies in the first place. Because I can tell you,
they're creating the pookies, right?
Because I can tell you that my sister went on a date when she was 16. Dude blew his horn out front. My dad looked at me and said, "Come with me, son." And she stood up and he said, "Sit your yellow ass down." To my
Why do you gotta call her yellow?
Because my sister was high yellow. She's a little darker. You just see the picture. She's a little darker than you. And she sat down and tucked her toes. And my dad put the cigarette in his mouth and it hung off his lips, still lit. And he just moved when he talked. And he walked down there with his Vietnam era boots on, some short shorts from the 80s.
Did he have a hat on? Yeah,
he had a cowboy hat on. You seen the cowboy hat in his picture when he was riding a horse. That cowboy hat, some short shorts, and a tank top. He looked a hot mess. He had some Vietnam boots on. He didn't care. He went out there and he said, "Hey." He said to his face, he said, "Boy, you do not blow your horn for my daughter like you a pimp and she's some hoe." And he reached to the car and he grabbed him and he said, "If you want to see her, you will come up to this door and you will knock on the man." He grabbed him by the collar and pulled him towards.
Yeah.
And then he went upstairs, and about 8 minutes later, we heard the most timid of knocks. Now, I'm sure dude had to go change his underwear. So I was scared. I was like, I wasn't even in trouble and I was scared. I was scared like I was in trouble. But that's how men handle situations. You don't let people come talking to your daughter like she's some slut. You know, and so, yeah, I believe that. And so, but this lady won't give him that, right? And you also see a bitter single mother there. A woman who made a bad choice in a man, and she, obviously, you see somebody who won't let her guests talk, and you also see somebody, you see 100% the reasons why these women are single. See, 100%, right? They like the drama these bums bring. This is Kennard to DJ. They like the drama these bums bring because it's exciting to the females. An actual man, on the other hand, to an average female is boring. And unfortunately, that's very true.
That's 100% true, yeah.
And
dude, so okay. I mean, I don't think it's a not known secret anymore, but I used to be in the tree business, okay, back in the day. I'm all clean, so the Fed's watching. You know, statute of limitations.
Hold on. So, Scott, were you operating a dispensary or dispensing before it was legal?
A mobile dispensary at one point down
mobile
in
dispensary
LA.
before it was legal?
Back in the valley, yeah.
So basically...
No, it's not like... It's like kind of gray area type stuff. I mean, federal...
No, you see... No, I just want everybody to pay attention how Asian dude will never say he was just selling drugs. He'll just never say he was selling...
I plead the fifth.
Go
I
on.
plead the fifth.
Yeah.
So,
I have never sold anything illegal.
Okay. Anyway, moving on. So when I was talking to this one girl, and I mentioned how I used to do that, the tree business and everything, and I only said it in passing. I wasn't even trying to like play it up or anything. Like, oh yeah, I used to do that, but then, you know, I ended up losing money and time, and I need to go a different direction. This is not. If I kept going down this path, I would have got arrested or something, and I don't want to deal with that, right? And you know what she said to me?
What'd she say to you?
She was like, "Oh, that's hot." I was just like, "Wait a second." I'm here. We're creating a little media empire, and all of a sudden she's like, "Oh, that's hot." Me doing like breaking laws and stuff. I'm like, "Are you crazy? Are you crazy? Like, what the hell's going on here?"
She's sitting here like, "What you doing with this YouTube stuff? You ain't never gonna see no money. You ain't gonna never be nobody. I want a man to sell drugs that make me tingle where I want to mingle." That's what she said to you?
Well, I mean,
I probably went too far.
Infer it.
I went far.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah,
but yeah.
So, but it's just very, very interesting. All right, chat. We're going to do the second clip here. I'm not going to hold you too long. I want you folks to do what you got to do on a Sunday night.
All right,
so here goes. Second clip. I got it.
Because I wish I
guess you got
it.
I didn't touch it.
You can only be what you can.
It takes a lot for you to create a child.
It takes about a few minutes.
You know what's crazy? A woman can only get pregnant within a 48-hour time frame of the 30 days.
Yes.
It's like 24 hours, 48 hours.
And your point
very
is what?
small. You know how... I thought that was okay. You know how much fucking you got to be doing raw?
Yeah.
In order to procreate
Unless you have
7 children with different women all the time?
You're talking about over 30-something years, though.
No, we're talking about in over 19 years. 7 children. By children number 3, let's say.
Yeah, but that's your opinion, sweetie.
That is just logic.
It's millions of people of men that have had that type of situation.
Right.
And
how much you paying child support?
Yeah. I'm going to pay nothing in child support.
Ooh.
Like, I'm a good dad.
Hold on, but you travel all the time.
Yeah,
They're
but I'm still
on different
a good dad.
But you don't pay child support?
Why would I pay child support?
So you take them to school every day. You take them to the doctor's offices. You take them to practices.
I mess with women that got themselves together.
Okay.
And
like a true toxic man. But you know what it takes physically? I would rather today, where I am today, I'm doing it alone.
Yes.
And it's hard. But you know how easy it is for me to go and work and make the money. I have to have a nanny, right?
Yes.
And she has to, like this morning, I'm at the radio station. She got to take him to school.
Yes.
She sometimes has to take him to practice.
But you don't have no help. My kids, I help their mothers.
That's their mother. How do you help them? With what? If you're not there with time and you're not there with money, how are you helping them?
Yeah, but I am there with time and I'm there with money.
How can you? You're one person, 7 kids, 7 states.
My kids are grown.
When they weren't.
I did it when they was grown.
They didn't grow.
When they was babies.
So they.
We are back again. So, you know, the note I have for this, the biggest thing that came to me, and I wanna give a shout out to Cortez Smith.
Which one? Which comment?
About bringing up ovulation.
Okay.
Because ovulation, when a woman is understanding of her ovulation, she knows when she's going to get pregnant. And also, if you highlight the comment right under that.
All right.
So this is insane. She's blaming men after explaining how women are responsible for pregnancy. So ladies, I'm going to tell you one thing that women always understood, and I don't care if you like it or not. You can't go around and say men are dogs, men will stick it in anything, only thing men want to do is hump you, and then get shocked when a man wants to hump you and you get pregnant.
But she's the one that's opening her legs and letting it happen. Like,
Yeah.
that's what I don't get.
No.
I remember having a conversation with a woman. I was just like, we can do away with all these problems. We just abstain. And the way she looked at me, she was like, yeah, I'm not doing that. So anyway.
She's like, abstain.
Yeah, we're not abstaining.
She don't want to
legs
abstain.
are wide open, and you're still responsible.
She wants the Boston.
Yeah. The Boston
The
cream pie.
Boston. That's what she wants.
She wants a trauma bond with the Boston.
It's just trauma bond.
Trauma bond, because everything's a trauma bond now, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Like when
if it ain't going to booty hole, it's not no trauma.
Jesus Christ. So how long have we been streaming? Is it safe to say booty hole? I mean,
Yeah, booty hole's fine.
Jesus
Sexy Red
Christ.
says it all the time. So
Yeah. We make fun of her. Okay, so apparently, Scott's just openly talking about buttholes and okay. Damn, I forgot what the hell I was gonna say.
So, what are your thoughts about the whole situation with what she said, though? About him not having given enough time and
so
all that.
what was Cat Daddy's name? We were talking about Kane, who got fired from Marvel.
Oh, Jonathan Majors.
Jonathan Majors. So I remember I was having a conversation, a real life conversation, face to face with somebody, and this lady said Jonathan Majors absolutely had to be guilty. And I said, what have you? I said, first of all, let me tell you something. The man did the 100-yard dash in the middle of New York with hard bottom shoes in traffic to get away from this woman. And she said, and I said, and then the woman chased him. And this heifer looked me dead in the eyes and said, they were trauma bonded. And you know what I said to her? I said, bitch, are you lost your mind? That's what I said. I walked away.
So for their trauma bond, then he is now culpable or responsible for anything that happens to her.
For the rest of her life. So
she gets hit by a car while he's running away.
Trauma bond. Yeah.
And that's still his fault. And he still has to pay in court and his career for that.
She get drunk, fall downstairs, trauma bond.
Yeah. Well, I mean, technically, because all those pictures they took of her and saying that, it was him that did all that.
She run naked to a field. She run naked to a field of hard, stiff peepees. Trauma bond.
Everything trauma bonding.
Just say any situation happened to a woman.
A woman slips and falls.
Trauma bond.
A woman ends up getting pregnant by
Trauma bond.
A woman wins $100 or $1 million in court from the divorce settlement.
She won it because she was trauma bonded.
That's true.
Man, they use trauma bond. What else do they use? What's another word that women love? Narcissism.
Narcissism, one other one.
Oh man! All right, so this is before I met my wife. I'm teaching martial arts, and one of my students says, "Hey, I want to bring my friend to meet you. She wants to take martial arts." And so she sits down and I said, "Ma'am, why do you want to take martial arts? Did something happen?" And she says, "Well, I just broke up with a narcissist after 10 years of marriage." I said, and I looked at her, I said, well, when did he become a narcissist? Was it the first year 1 or year 10? And she said, well, what does that have to do with it? I said, well, if your silly ass was with a narcissist for like 10 years, you're not smart enough
laying
to
the
take
same
class
bed,
from me. You're not smart
taking
enough
a
to take
D from
class
every
from me.
hole in every direction.
Man, hey, bro, she got up and walked away, bro. She got up and walked away. She's like, I will never talk to him again. He's a misogynist.
Trauma bond.
Trauma bond.
Trauma bond.
So
another word is gaslighting.
Gaslighting. All right, so this is what we're gonna do. All right, chat. Give me a 1 if gaslighting is the number 1 BS term that women use for men. Give me a 2 if it's narcissism, the number 1 BS term for men. I want to see that. I want to see number 1 for gaslighting, number 2 for narcissism. So it looks like for the folks in the chat.
Two. Narcissist?
Yes. So my folks, I can already tell y'all. And so give me a number 1. One more thing. Give me a number 1 if you've ever been called a narcissist. If you've ever been called a narcissist.
Oh, actually, that's pretty good.
Verbally and emotionally abusive. Damn, Kirk, my bad, man. You went deep on it.
Yeah. That's actually pretty. All
right, so give me a 1 if you've been called a narcissist. Give me a 2 if you've been called verbally or emotionally abusive. Guns has been called a narcissist. Guns, your logo is excellent. Yeah.
And what it is.
What it is. I think he said he was from the East Coast. And Kirk, you brought that up, number 2. Man, hey, you know what? Reminds me of remember we were talking to our guest in one of our mansplaining shows. And,
What you guys are we talking about?
What was her name? The middle-aged fitness model.
Helena.
Which,
by the way, we still got a plant from her.
Yeah, Helena. Is that plant still there? Are you going to get that?
It's still alive. It's been over a year.
I was so mad at her. I didn't water it for a year. Don't bring this beat up.
Yeah. See?
Don't bring this dry plant.
She got us as
out
a plant.
here. So man.
But then she started gaslighting us.
So she shows up. She buys me a plant. I supply food and wine for all my guests, but we don't drink on the set because I don't want people to say that they are drunk. And she starts explaining to me how her first husband paid for everything. Beautiful lady, older, very classy, sophisticated. And she goes to tell me, and this is why Awapo says, and I believe 100%, that beauty does not equal virtue. And so she says that, this man paid for everything for her, but he became financially abusive because he wouldn't let her spend money at will, and he was holding money from her. And I wanted to say, but I just wanted to let her talk. Because it's the mansplaining show. It's not the toxic masculinity show. So the mansplaining answer is I let her talk and let her incriminate herself. And I just said, so how many percentage of divorces do you think ends in abuse? And she says 100% men are abusive some way. And I said, okay. I said, 100% is a pretty high number. She said, yes. So she looked like a total complete fool because nothing in this world is 100% one way. Except 100% of women are crazy. Now my wife is like, what's wrong with you?
Right?
What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
But the toxic masculinity answer would have been, what he probably wanted to do, ma'am, is stop your silly ass from spending all the money. And he was being financially responsible by putting a limit because there wasn't enough money for you to spend what you wanted. And you wanted to spend more money than you should have. But if you had enough to cover the bills and your necessities, and to get you a burrito every now and again or a little Chinese takeout, then you should have shut up and been happy that you didn't have to provide for yourself. Because now you had 100% of nothing that you had to do, and now you got 100% of it all on you. That's what I wanted to say. All right, we got one more clip for you, and this is the grand finale.
Okay.
All right, so here we go.
Yes,
How much?
a lot of time, and we're still close
What
to
are the
this day.
ages? Do you even know the ages?
Yes, 37 to 16.
No. Give me 6.
Yeah, 37, 32, 26, 22, 21, and 20 and 16.
So you have 3 that are a year apart.
Oh, absolutely.
So, and they're all in the same state?
No.
So when those 3 kids, let's just focus on 3 out of the 17 you got. Those 3, they're growing up and they have to do like that, those first 5 years of their lives.
Yes.
How often could you have possibly been
That's
there?
true. But so
Were you paying child support then?
I don't pay child support.
Okay, we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on.
Like, why would I pay child support? I'm not a bum.
Because did you pay for their school?
Of course.
Okay, so
But you talk so fast, you don't let people get their thoughts out.
You just kept saying I don't pay child support.
You're a judge.
No. You kept saying I don't pay child support.
You put people on the.
Okay, so
no,
all these
when I
children
say
you
I
pay.
pay, no. Let's make sure we're clear. It's very important because I got my fans.
Child support, you're thinking.
Let me finish my thought, darling.
Oh, 2x.
Thank you. Yeah, make sure. When I say don't pay, you say, that's the communication gap.
Okay.
When you saying, what do I pay? You're thinking child support. I'm not giving anything. I'm saying I take care of my babies.
Okay, what does that look like?
Yeah, it looks like you take care of them.
Can you explain to me what it looks like
yeah,
for you to have to take
put
care of
the
second
school,
kids?
clothes, trips, etc.
Okay, what about they live in the house with their mom 24/7, right?
Yes.
They live in their home. So do you pay any of those bills in their house?
Yes, I did. They grown now.
We're gonna focus.
Yeah, when they were kids, yes.
So the 16-year-old not right now. So you still have one that's underage.
Yes, and well taken care of.
What does that look like
It's
right
amazing.
now today?
It's amazing.
What does it look like?
What do you mean? What it looks like
for the 16-year-old right now? What does that look like? How do you take care of him? It's a boy,
visit. Right? We hang, go to games, etc.
School.
Yeah,
Paid
he
for
goes
it?
to school. Yeah, I don't take
got
him
a
to
car?
school. No, he's 16. No.
So who drives him to school?
His mom.
So you pay for the gas?
No.
Do you pay for her car insurance?
No.
Do you pay for her car bill?
No.
Do you pay for her light bill?
No.
Do you give her money for food?
Of course.
How much?
Whatever she needs.
So every month you don't.
I don't see.
So she has to ask you for it.
See, here's the thing: that's structured with most women, and this is how you're thinking. You're thinking, I need X, Y, and Z, but there's some women on this planet who move a certain way, and when they need something, because if you got your stuff together,
so how about you get your stuff together?
Some
too?
women will say, "Baby, I need this," and it's done.
Baby, you are my baby daddy.
No.
We made a mistake,
There
right?
you,
Remember?
There you go again. With the energy and your toxic energy,
I'm not toxic.
and the
I
way.
am matter of
Let me finish.
factly.
And your energy influences negativity. You don't stay calm.
No.
Listen to what I'm saying.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm giving you my point. When you do all that, and the tone of your voice creates that type of energy.
Okay,
Okay, go ahead.
So, here's the thing, and this is why I say be a gentleman, but don't be nice. Because he's here trying to be nice to her. And at one point, he should have told her, just shut up and let me talk, or I'm going to leave. Because there's no way that a 63-year-old man should be badgered by somebody on their podcast. He's the biggest guest that she's ever going to have. I mean, he's been on multiple platforms, got millions and millions of views, and there's no way. So,
What podcast is that? I don't even know that podcast.
it's you know what? It's a podcast that's not popular enough, and she bagged a big. I don't even want to get, because I was gonna give her a shout out and let her know where it's from. I'll give it to you so you can put it in the description.
Yeah.
But I didn't even want to say it right now because the bottom line is this. She didn't even have the intestinal fortitude to leave her comments on that because she was getting flamed. And I looked at a Social Blade, her like to dislike ratio. She was like 12% likes.
Really?
Yeah. So even the people who rock with her, and this is her biggest show, it's like 50-something thousand views. Even the people who rock with her didn't rock with that. And I just want you to folks realize that you were watching someone, a woman, who was so in her own emotions that she was just listening to respond, and she never had the understanding that child support isn't about the money that she gets, it's about support for the child. So when I was older, my parents separated. My dad lived 15 minutes away. I spent half of the time with him, half of the time with my mom if I wanted to. Right? My father took me hunting, took me fishing, taught me how to field dress a hog, taught me how to gut and clean fish. I learned how to farm when I was a kid, learned how to, work hard. So I had a very good relationship and understanding with my dad. As a matter of fact, it wasn't, only weird part was they weren't living together, but as a kid, I guess I knew that there was some turmoil in the house. Okay. My mom and my dad never argued about that child support. My dad gave her some cash. I know he did, because I seen the empty checks when we were moving. I seen the checks that my dad, when I moved my dad before he passed away, he had check stubs from the return checks he get from like the 90s, like the early 90s. Mm-hmm. And I was like, Dad, you need to learn how to throw stuff away. I'm surprised your identity ain't been stolen. But I just remember like twice a year he brought me school clothes. Every summer he sent me to Texas for the entire summer to connect with my grandparents. He was just solid. There was no argument. And my mother never went to the child support office and filed child support. It was just an agreement between them. See, this lady here, she doesn't understand that taking care of your kid, it is financial, but it doesn't equal money in your pocket all the time. Now, do they need money? Do you need money in your pocket? Sure, if that's how you want to do it. But I see these things like women getting $25,000 a month from multimillionaires. There's not one child in the United States that needs $25,000 a month.
Well, there was this one fact from or statistic from I think Wall Street Journal,
and this was a couple years ago, so the number is probably updated by now. But it says it takes about $300,000 to raise a child from 0 to 18. So if someone's paying let's go absurd, $25,000 a month. That's like $250,000. What is that? I'm Asian, but I'm probably bad at math. That's $300,000 right there in 1 year.
You're Asian, but you're not that type of Asian.
Yeah, I'm not that type of Asian.
Yeah.
But that's like $300,000 in 1 year. So like, it's so crazy. It only takes you this much amount of money to raise a kid from 0 to 18, but you got to pay beyond that. So why? Like, it doesn't make any sense. It's completely irrational.
Because alimony was not available, and the family court system is intended on punishing the man for the marriage to dissolve. Even if the marriage is dissolving, it's not his fault. They want to punish him, and they want to reward people for breaking their vows. And the man gets punished if he doesn't have a financial...
Reward people for breaking them? You mean reward the woman?
Yes, yes. Well, since 80% of divorces are filed by women, that's what they're rewarding. Listen, everybody's not Jeezy, where Jeezy looked around and said, I just got to get away from her. You know, everyone's not that guy. So, you know, they want to... There's punishment for it. And another thing I really think, too, is that there's punishment for any man who enters a business agreement without an exit plan. Somebody consulted with me the other day about a business thing, and I should have charged a lot of money, but I didn't. And I told them, you got to do three things. Number one, you got to establish what part of the business is your responsibility, because that part of the business, which is your responsibility, lets you know how much of the business you actually own. You can't so if you have like hardly no responsibility, you can't expect to own 70% of a business. It makes sense, right?
Yeah.
So responsibility, so you know how much you own. And the final thing is you have to have a plan of exit. You do this for 10 years. If I don't want to do it anymore, you buy me out, right? How do you buy me out? Okay, or if we start getting upside down. And a lot of people don't understand that. And Kennard the DJ says correct. He said something correct. This is why as a man, you do not lead with money. If so, the relationship with the female will most likely be transactional, and ain't no love between a... Where you from again, Cat Daddy? Ain't no love between a hoe and a trick. And I said this on a last stream, and I'm gonna say it again. I had a uncle from the Bay, from East Oakland, exact, who was a sporting man. And I just want to say sporting man because I'm going to define that as a man who ushered ladies of the night on and assisted them with their transaction from the gentleman who wanted to see them. And of course, he took his cut of the money, which was all of it.
Jeez. All right.
And one thing he explained to me is like, I probably said, oh, you know, pimping. And he said, wait. Let me give you what definitions are, sir. Oh, Kennard the D. Well, no wonder you talking like that. You from the Shy. Understood, sir. So, you know, what he said was, let me explain to you what things actually mean. And I'm going to break down what a pimp is, what a simp is, and what a trick is. So he says, so a pimp is someone who gets things that other men can't get. And he gets all of the riches that other men can't get, and he gets paid for receiving the riches. And he does that through means of verbal manipulation. A gorilla pimp is someone who does it through
brute force,
physical manipulation. A dope pimp is someone who does it through mental or dope, not mental, but dope manipulation. So I told her this, and I said, wow. And, you know, I'm like 13, so this is the greatest stuff I've ever heard in my life, right? Yeah. And by the way, my uncle's old lady at the time, his bottom lady, and he was out the game, but he still was passing his knowledge down. She was like the baddest white woman I ever seen in my life. To that point, she looked like Bo Derek did, except she was about 25 pounds heavier. You know, so she was what we would call thick. And she had, I mean, I swear to God, she walked through the door and her chest walked in about 15 minutes before. She had some big tatas, and that's how he liked it. And by the way, he was like 5'6" and like 155 pounds, and always kept a 38 on him and a straight razor. I remember these things, right? Now, he told me that a simp is someone who does everything but gets nothing. So when you see the beta orbiters orbiting around a chick doing this for her, doing that for her, oh, she needs a ride, I'm gonna go give her a ride, I'm gonna do this and do that. That's a simp. A trick is somebody who pays for what other men get for free. So a pimp gets for free what other men pay for, right?
Mm-hmm.
A simp gets nothing. A simp is truly the saddest part. Because you're not getting nothing.
Well, there is some good news, though.
I'm not glorifying none of this. And just remember, a trick is someone who's paying for it what other men have gotten for free.
Well, apparently there's some reports that the OF is taking a herd.
Oh!
And a lot of the OF models are not exactly getting as many subscriptions and signups and money from these simps anymore, because I guess the economy is getting so bad that they are starting to deactivate their accounts and not, providing for their lifestyle. So there's some type of silver lining.
Oh, it's okay.
I mean, we're creator economy first, but
Well, what did Kevin Samuel say in that viral clip? On Fresh and Fit.
What was it? Subway to the streets.
Subway.
That's what it was.
No, he said, "Don't worry, Subway will be hiring."
Yeah, Subway will be hiring. Yeah.
Well, in Cali, they make $20 an hour at fast food. So hey, ladies, don't be mad. At McDonald's, you go back there and flip a burger, but when you go into McDonald's out here, it's all automated now.
Yeah.
So look, that was our last clip. What do you think about that last clip? I'm done talking about it. About that lady, about the kids and everything.
Well, number one, let me read this from Uncle Guns first.
Oh, what did Guns say?
Our chief moderator here. Money will only buy you temporary cooperation. It does not guarantee desire or respect. Guns 2018.
Guns was like, I thought I told y'all a whole long time ago. And Kennard said that's financial manipulation.
Mm-hmm.
And Kirk Alton said, well, they flooded the market. If P was a stock,
that's for sure.
Man, if P was a stock, bro. Kirk, if P was a stock, I'm going to tell you right now, they are not in a recession.
The assets would be overpriced. Hoflation is gone out of hand.
The hoflation has them in a depression.
Trying to restrict all the interest rates or boost up the interest rates is not going to do anything.
It's 1931, man. These girls out here eating corn cobs, not the corn, but the cob, and apple cores trying to make it. They out there soft shoeing and tap dancing.
And popping out ping pongs from the beat.
They over there having ping pong shows. Okay, Guns knows what I'm talking about. Ping pong shows.
Yeah, my only thing is the amount of disrespect I see from the ladies so blatantly online, regardless of what race it is. I mean, it's gotten to a point where men don't want to be getting into relationships with these girls. They have all this, we men have all this information in our hands. We see the evidence. We see the data of how these ladies are starting to treat us. Now we just have to make our adjustments and act accordingly so they cannot keep disrespecting us, because the only way that they can start to gain some type of respect is if we don't give them the attention, our money, our time, our resources to them. I mean, we got to get the power back some way. Well,
I think there's many ways to get the power back.
Yeah.
So I think the first way to get the power back as a man is to focus on making yourself the best version of you. Mm-hmm. There is no excuse.
Purpose over panties.
There is no excuse. Mm-hmm. You have to be purpose driven.
Yep.
If you have something you like to do, and you have to pick up new skills all the time. I am old. And what did I start doing last week?
Learning how to edit.
Jesus Christ!
Now he sees the woes I go through.
And my edits are kind of nice, huh? Yeah. So
they're good.
But I mean, you have to add something new to it. You have to make yourself more valuable.
Yeah.
You have to, or you could change your situation. Listen, I don't care what anyone says. If you want to deal with power dynamics, you got your money together, and you're going to retire, and you're retiring to another country. Man, I've really been thinking that. I'm going to Oaxaca this year. Mm. Really thinking maybe, man, my wife gonna be so happy, bro, because I ain't told her this. I would not mind retiring to the capital city of Oaxaca, bro.
Yeah.
Best food in Mexico. You know, it's close enough that she, like, I don't want to live in a village, right? But man, I was just watching pictures of the city and stuff, and just certain stuff that people do in Mexico, like sweep their sidewalks. And listen, I'm never gonna like give up my spot in the USA or anything. Like, I'm always gonna have a residence here and a home here. But maybe I do it like Jesse Ventura when he was spending half the time 6 months in 6 months.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I understand the passport bros. I mean, the critics of the passport bros say, oh, why are you going outside the country to go find yourself a woman and go and be a citizen of that other country? In my opinion, I prefer, like you, where I want to spend my time here in the United States, but I also want to have an abode, a home, elsewhere outside the country. And I want my dating pool so expansive that I'm not beholden to women of the United States, especially with their outrageous demands. So at least I have a selection of women where I can start to compare and contrast. Hey, which features do I like? You know what I mean?
Mama Scott right now excited. She's like, oh, he gonna go to Vietnam.
But I'm just saying, because then if more men start adopting that kind of mindset and taking the leverage back in our hands, then it has to naturally have a balancing effect here in the United States. So that's why, like I say, I don't get mad at these women, bro. I just don't. It's just you just know what you got to do. You got to just do your steps. You got to act accordingly. And slowly, hopefully, more men will come together and
I was just talking.
I
was just talking to my guy. He calls himself Chuck in a Truck, but you know, I know the guy personally. He's one of our supporters. He's been supporting the THPP Network for at least 2.5 years. He's a martial artist, and he's talking about a martial artist. This kid is good, young, strong, fast. Jeet Kune Do, Muay Thai. He'll put it on you too, and he's super polite. Like, he'll punch you in the mouth and be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, sir." Right? And so, one of the things that he was talking about was that, like, he's so fed up with the situation here. This dude is, I mean, he's not the tallest guy, but I mean, he's chiseled, working out. He has to work out about 2 hours a day. I talk about calisthenics, air squats, and everything, and he's just tired of the BS. And he's like, bro. When I first heard about people going to other countries and stuff and this and that, he says, I didn't really give it much credence because I'm just focused on making my money. He works. He runs a business. He works hard in this community. He helps people out in this community, right? And he's a very disciplined young brother. But he just messaged me the other day and he said, man, I'm thinking this passport is the way to go. I can't deal with these ladies no more. And I was like, wow. So I just want to close and say this. I am not for pushing any agenda. I never tell men they should go get married. I can honestly tell you that I found a 1 in a million. And I understand I did. I also believe that she found a 1 in a million because I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do regardless. But I'm not telling men to go do that. I want to look you dead in the eyes, fellas. I'm not telling you to go to a passport and go to another country. I'm not telling you to do that. I'm not telling you to be a monk.
You should travel
and be monk mode. I'm not going to tell you to do it. I'm not going to tell you to go to the Midwest or go to a place outside of urban areas and try to find you somebody who's raised right. I'm going to tell you to do what's right for you. I'm not here to count your pockets, and I'm not here to crotch watch. It's not my job. My job is to talk to men and tell them to do what's right for them. I had somebody tell me that I was crazy for telling a guy to ever consider a single mom no matter how old he is. And I looked this person in the eye and I said, if you're 65 years old, bro, you're going to wind up dating a single mom. She's called a widower. You're being stupid. I'm 50 years old. I'm way beyond this stupid back and forth of telling men what to do. Only thing I can tell men is that get better. If you're getting better every day, things are going to fall in your favor.
Yep, you get more leverage on your side.
Exactly.
And then you really can call the shots how you want it.
Yeah.
Because everything always comes down to power dynamics.
Yes.
No matter what it is, it's always power dynamics, regardless.
So we were actually, just tell everybody, we were supposed to stream Friday night, but we were just trying to figure out these technical issues. We will continue to improve each stream. I want you to grow with us. I thank you for everybody who showed up tonight, everybody who gifted, the gentleman who gifted
the memberships.
Gifted to 5 memberships.
Swing Out Museum, our THPPtube member.
Swing Out Museum. And for folks, you know, I will be posting when we're going to have a members only chat. It's going to be super intimate. I'm probably going to just do it from my computer. Just going to have conversations. I'll bring people up if they're members, and we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
And these will get more and more exclusive. Our last stream, which I was buck wild, went members only. I just want to once again thank everybody who stopped by or who's in the chat right now for rocking with us. I know everybody else is streaming on Kevin Samuels Memorial Day. We just wanted to do it right and talk about Mr. Samuels in a way, and talk about a subject in a way that we know Mr. Samuels would be able to do way better than us, but we hope we did it justice. So I just want to go on and say, Uncle Guns, thank you for moderating for us, as you always do. You've been there with us from our first live stream, when our big live streams, our small live streams, you've always been here. Thank you very much, sir. And just let me know when you're ready. We will do story time with Uncle Guns, and we'll make it happen. Cortez Smith, you're all over. I mean, I see you in a Wapo stream. I see you in our stream. Thank you very much. Kirk Alton, sir, you're absolutely welcome here each time. Polite Savage. Kennard to DJ, Chi-Town's finest. Man, let me tell you something. All of my favorite comedians are from Chicago. Corey Holcomb, from Chicago. Bernie Mac, from Chicago. Deion Cole, from Chicago. Godfrey, from Chicago. I mean,
where's Paul Mooney from?
Paul, I don't know where Paul Mooney's from. And then, of course, Patrice O'Neal is actually from Boston. But Patrice O'Neal, I became aware of Patrice O'Neal when he stayed 3 months with Corey Holcomb in California.
Oh, he's from Shreveport, Louisiana.
Yeah, he's from Louisiana. He's a Creole boy. Just everybody who stopped through, what it is. Thank you very much. Hey, great YouTubers are even from Chicago. Let's see who's hitting the YouTube from Chicago. I don't know. Cortez, drop who's from Chicago. And Cortez like me, fool. No, but drop who's from Chicago. Who's on these YouTube streets that I just don't know about. You know, I don't want to act like I know everything. Let's see who else we got in the chat today that I can shout out before we sign off.
What it is, yeah.
I got what it is.
Yeah. Coach Lamont.
Coach Lamont.
He's here for a minute.
Salute thank you for stopping by. Africa is king. Yes, thank you. And then we have our new members that Swing Out Museum gifted people: Spaced Pirates, Master Funk 82, Chris S, Ruben Shirk, and Simon Zuninga.
And I can't highlight those.
Zuninga.
E305.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir.
The contractor.
D-Block Diaz. I ain't gonna lie, that's a cool ass name too.
Gunmetal Guy USA.
Gunmetal Guy, always supporting us so hard. Your medical update podcast, who said our intro looked like GTA 6, and of course, Trin Wilson,
another THPPtube member.
THPPtube member, thank you. And
we gotta get Rishi.
Rishi's in the house. Thank you so much, Rishi. And Eraez Rojas. Gracias.
I think we got everybody.
Mucho gracias.
Yep.
For your attendance. Okay. So, folks, thank you for joining us, and we're gonna hit the outro.
Yep.
And we're out.
Peace.
But ask yourself one burning question.
One last thing. Yep.
One burning question. Can you handle the tip? Booty in your face.
This time, we ask that you turn off your portable electronic devices. You are now free to